Okay, hey, what's up guys? Let's just get straight to it. So a little bit of context before we dive in. I've been deep in the crypto testing world for a few years now, and what that basically means is I spend a genuinely weird amount of time just living inside it, testing things out, seeing what holds up under pressure, and figuring out which projects are worth anyone's time. Mining technology has been the area I keep circling back to recently because the infrastructure side of things has been developing in some directions that I find genuinely compelling. And this platform right here, I've had it running in the background for a couple of weeks now, just methodically going through it session by session. Today felt like the right moment to just open everything up and do it properly, in real time. My account, live session, nothing cleaned up after the fact. And then towards the end, I want to get into something I think is actually really valuable, which is how I personally think about not getting burned out here. Okay, let's go. The page is loaded and I'm clicking launch right here, and there we go. Dashboard is open. So this is essentially the nerve center of the whole thing. Every setting, every data point, everything I need during a session is right here on this screen. Okay, so first thing I'm doing is selecting a token, and I want to take a second on this because I think it's actually one of the more underrated features here. The platform is built on multi-chain technology, so I'm looking at 14 different assets to work with. That's a genuinely wide selection, and it gives me a lot of room to work with depending on what I'm holding at any given moment. Alright, token is set, now I'm moving into the cluster power configuration. So what I'm doing here is essentially deciding the intensity of the session, how many resources get pulled in, how hard the system pushes, what kind of output I'm optimizing for. And the reason I'm being deliberate about this is that whatever I said here feeds directly into the fee calculation at the end, so it's not just an arbitrary dial to spin. Okay, I'm comfortable with these settings, going ahead and pressing start, and there it is, session is running. And the console is right here showing me everything in real time. Elapsed time, current resource draw, my progress, and there's a live log panel over here that I genuinely keep an eye on throughout because it gives me a good sense of how the system is actually behaving. So I'm going to let this run for a few minutes and then we'll get into what happens on the other side of a session. Okay friends, so a few minutes have gone by. I think that's a good window. Let me wrap this session up now. Okay, pop-up is right here, session is closed out, and it's showing me the exact token count from this run. So to actually move it out, first thing I need to do is put in my receiving address for the token I had selected. Let me just knock that out right now. Okay, that's in there. Next is the infrastructure fee. So that's basically what the platform charges for the session, and it's derived from the configuration I had set up and the total time the session was running. And this is something I want to actually point out. When it comes to covering this fee, I've got full flexibility over which token I use. I can just go with whatever makes the most sense for me right now rather than being locked into Ethereum. There's also a wallet connect option if I want to just handle it automatically in a single step, but I'm going manual today just so every part of the process is visible. Good, everything is filled in, tapping I've sent right here, and now it's just sitting and processing. Won't take long. So while that's working, okay, this is actually the part I've been building towards since the start of this video, because I said I'd talk about staying safe, and I genuinely meant it. Okay, look, I think the reason that's worth saying out loud is that people sometimes assume that time in the space automatically builds some kind of immunity to it, and it just doesn't work that way. Projects can be really convincing when they want to be, and they're not tucked away somewhere hard to find. Every corner of the internet where people who are curious about crypto are already spending their time. They go where the audience is, and the thing that makes this a genuinely hard problem even for experienced people is that this industry just moves at a pace that doesn't really allow for much pause. New platforms, new narratives, new opportunities seemingly every other week, and that constant momentum creates this feeling where being cautious starts to feel like falling behind. And people who build scam projects understand that feeling really well and build around it. So a few things that are just part of my process now whenever I look at something new. I check is how the platform actually looks. Scam projects almost always give themselves away in the design. Something feels off the moment you land on the page. The layout isn't quite right, elements don't sit where they should. There's this overall impression of something that was built to look credible rather than actually be credible. A platform that was built with real care and intention behind it just presents differently. And once you've seen enough of both, you start picking up on the difference almost immediately. Second thing I do is actually put myself through the product, navigate around, try to do things, see how the interface responds when you actually use it. A platform that was never properly tested before launch has a very specific feel to it. Things that almost work, flows that don't quite make sense, a general sense that the user experience was an afterthought. That tells me everything I need to know about the people running it. Okay, so to close this out, I've been running this platform consistently for a few weeks, more than 20 sessions logged, worked through basically the full range of available tokens, genuinely tried to find something that didn't check out. And across all of that, every single session came through clean. Everything landed exactly where it was supposed to. No weird holdups, no moments where something felt off. That kind of consistency over that many runs is the thing that actually builds trust for me. So if you want to dig into this yourself, link is in the description. Really appreciate you being here. Peace.